Welcome everyone. Every relationship, it doesn't matter how you want to label it, should come down to the same principles. The reason why I really feel that you should drop this label and you should detach from the thing as a whole is because first of all, and this is the hugest point, the most important point, is the attachment. Because automatically, when you label someone a twin flame, when you label someone to be so important that he exists only one time in your life and you can never ever find someone like that again, you are basically putting them on a shelf, like you are putting them on a podest. You are putting them higher, making them more special, and this is automatically creating attachment, because you're telling yourself there is no one else out there like them. So in the twin flame journey is about releasing attachment. That's what most people say who talk about this. But on the other hand, thinking about someone as being your twin flame is creating that. It is creating that. It is creating more attachment than you have towards this person when you see them just as someone who you are dealing with right now, who you're loving a lot, whom you can learn from, and all these things. So I just want to, raise the consciousness upon this obstacle that is coming with the twin flame journey, that you are doing something that is creating the opposite of what you want to reach. And by just releasing the label in your mind and living the relationship from the principles and boundaries and values that you have towards yourself with every person, it will give you a really more healthy base upon which you can act towards this other person, because relationships are never easy. They're always complicated. When there are two beings interacting with all of their stuff, it gets really complicated. But I'm just suggesting to you, and you don't have to do that. You can of course decide for yourself if you think that this is a good advice for you or not. But I'm just proposing that release the label, see it as just a normal relationship, and try to get it as healthy as you can. Try to get it as healthy as you can with you. So practicing your self-love, practicing your boundaries, releasing the attachment, and just seeing these are all things that, in my opinion, are just, it is creating blockages for you, that you create them and then you have to move through them. But you can release so much of the burdens that come with this perception of a relationship when you just say, I consider it as a normal relationship, and I do everything I can to learn from it. And I take it as an opportunity to practice my self-love. Whenever you think about a twin flame journey and you give this label to a person, that this is the only person that you can stay with, that you can be with, that you can feel this love with in your whole life, then you are always waiting for something in the future. You are waiting for a person that is not here right now. And you wish for it so much, and you do everything for it, and you pause your life for someone who is not here, for something that is in your dreams in the future. And you lose the present moment. People are giving away their power to some outer experience, to some outer event, and waiting for something to happen that is releasing them. But in my opinion, always, when you are waiting for something outside, you are giving away your power. You are not actively helping yourself in reaching what you want to reach, but just waiting. From my perspective, I'm seeing a lot of misconceptions with what unconditional love actually is and how you can live that in your daily life, in your normal life. And what I feel is the biggest misunderstanding here is that unconditional love does not mean that you say yes to everything. It does not mean that you don't have healthy boundaries. It does not mean that you accept everything and never feel angry and never feel, let's say, something destructive or negative. It means that you see beyond the conditional patterns of a person. You see their soul and you love their soul. You love their potential, you love their light, you love who they really are in their essence. But this is not the same as behavior. Behavior is something different. Behavior is the patterns. Most of the people and most of the times we act upon our patterns. We act upon our ego or masks that we created, for people to love us. And so these two things, it's really important to distinguish between loving a person in their soul essence, for who they are, and for perceiving this, for always remembering, even when you are fighting or something, or when you feel hurt from someone else, to remind yourself, this is not the soul of the person hurting me. This is the conditioning, the conditioned behavior of the person that is hurting me. But I see beyond that. I know that this is a mask. I know that they don't have the intention to hurt me. They can't act, they can't do it better. They are trying their best in every moment of their lives. And they also have the intention to do the best for themselves and for others. But the truth is, a lot of times, this is not what we are able to do. A lot of times, we can't do better. And we shouldn't take it personally, even though I know even this, it's hard to do. But when you have this knowledge in your mind and you can remind yourself that every time something is hurting you, you say, okay, there are two things that I can consider. One thing, and I always say this one first because I believe that it's, for you, it's the more important thing. To look at yourself and say, why does this hurt me? Where is it triggering me? Where do I have my wounds that are touched by another person? So why can someone hurt me in this place? And the second thing is to always remind yourself that the other person does never do something in order to hurt you. So they just act out of their own patterns. They act out of their own situation. And yes, you have to tell them when it hurts you and when you need something else from them and when there is a boundary or when you can't go on like that. You need to say it. But in the second place, you remind yourself that they don't say that in order to hurt you. You shouldn't take it personal. Take the information that it gives you, that something is triggered within you, that you need to work through with yourself, and in the second place, forgive the other person for that they can't do it better in the same time. And what is really important for me to say here is that I'm not saying you have to stop to love this person. I am not saying this, really. I am just saying that you have to realize that no matter who you are in love with, the love comes from within you, always. You are the source of the love you feel. Otherwise, it would not be possible to love more people than one in a lifetime, but you do. You are in love with always with more than one people in your lifetime. And when you really think about it, and you really meditate upon this, and let it soak in, the love comes from within you. And this is how you feel it, this is how you experience it. So love is never bound to a person. Love is bound to you, to yourself. And you can experience it with yourself. You don't need someone else to experience this love. And I know that a lot of people don't believe this because they never experienced this love with themselves without another person. But this is what it is. You can go there, you can experience that. It just needs this development and shedding the things that are blocking you from experiencing that. I know this is a huge thing in this twin flame journey, because a lot of people also mix the twin flame label with karmic relationships, or just people who use you and don't respect your boundaries and are narcissistic, or whatever unhealthy behaviors they have with you. This is never, ever, ever okay. This is never a way to go. It doesn't matter who the person is, it doesn't matter what the label is. In every relationship that you have to have healthy boundaries. You have to say no every once in a while. You have to say no when people are not respecting you. You have to say no when something doesn't feel okay with you. And it is never an option to change that, to shift your boundaries, or to not set them just because you love someone so much. You should always remember that you have to respect yourself. You have to create a safe space for yourself in order to freely love another person. Because if you constantly feel in danger because you don't feel safe with yourself, you don't trust yourself to set the boundaries when they are needed, then you can't open your heart to its full extent. You will always kind of have these walls. You will always block people unconsciously and say no unconsciously to a lot of things because you don't do it actively. So what you really need to do is to say no when you have to say no, and when your soul tells you to say no, when you have this impulse in the moment that no, this doesn't feel good with me, this is not okay, then this is what you need to speak. No matter how much love you have for another person, no matter how much this person is important to you, if you are not important to yourself, you can't open your heart up to the other person as well. So you do this for yourself, and you do this in the same time for the other person. To put this boundary and say, no, this is not, it just doesn't feel okay with me, you know, it doesn't have anything to do with your value, it doesn't have anything to do with my love towards you. I'm still loving you, but in the same time I have to tell you that there is a boundary for me. For me to feel good with you, for me to feel safe with you, for me to feel respected with you, I need you to respect that, okay? And I know that this is hard. I know that this is a hard thing to do, because so many times we believe that we hurt other people with our boundaries. But really, I want to share something with you that I experienced as well in my own life. It's my own experience that this is never the case. The truth is always the highest degree of love that you can give to another person. Because any illusion that you give to someone else is a lie. You're basically lying to someone else, which is not appreciating them or yourself. And sometimes the truth is not the most beautiful thing to say. Sometimes the truth is not the most comfortable thing. But it is the truth. It is who you are. It is what you want to be loved for. It is what you want people to see within you. You want to be seen for who you are. So you have to show who you are without any compromises. So it doesn't matter in which relationship you're in. It doesn't matter how special it is to you, how much you love this person. You should always love yourself first. You should always be your own base station. You should connect with yourself in the first place and really feel that you appreciate yourself no matter what, and you appreciate yourself no matter how many other people do the same, and no matter how other people react to you, or how many people tell you that you're doing good, that you're on the right way, that, you know, they agree with you. You should always be your own anchor. And I know this is easier said than done, because a lot of times it's just hard to stay in the same level of self-love when from the outside, for example, there is a lot of resistance coming towards you, or people judging you a lot. Whatever helps you with that, just do it, practice it, shift your perception, you know. And I think there are already a lot of videos out there that speak about this or that help you with this. But today I just want to do a really quick video, and in order for you to shift your perception when it comes to twin flames and attachment in relationships. So we all want to feel seen from deep within our souls. We have this longing for other people to see us on a deep level for who we really are. But the truth is, this is just a pinpointer of what we need to wake up to. We need to wake up to ourselves, to see ourselves for who we really are. And this is the only way that we can ever fill this void within us. This is the only way that will satisfy what we are actively seeking for all of our lives. And this is also the only thing that everything that we experience in this lifetime is actually about. It is about us to realize our origin, realize what we are made of, realize who we really are. And I made a video about this, which was called "You Are the Event," which talks about this, because also this talk about the event, I perceive it to be kind of illusionary. I'm not saying that the whole thing is wrong, but I just perceive it differently. I perceive it to be everyone in his own time and in his own personal individual experience waking up to his essence, to his own soul light, because this is what we are. We are light. We are not the shadows. I said that before. We just identify with things that are dark. We identify with patterns that are painful. We identify with things that are negative, and we think that this is part of us. But the truth is, it is just the patterns. It is the conditioning. It is not our essence. Our essence is pure. It is perfect. It is light. And we need to come to remember that on an experiential, deep level. So this is what I want to tell you actually with this video. The twin flame journey, or what you perceive to be a twin flame journey, also serves this purpose. It is a pinpointer for you to see where there is still a void within you, where still you don't actively see yourself and love yourself in the way that you are longing for. And how you create that for yourself is to decide that you want to do that, and to just start to love yourself and to believe in yourself being enough. So for you to not need anyone else, and to feel fulfilled within your own presence. But in order for you to do that, you need to be present. You need to be in the moment. You need to stay with yourself, because if you don't stay with yourself, you will always long for someone else, because you are not here with you. And I know that that sounds kind of abstract or maybe weird to some people, but this is really what it is. If you're constantly engaged with other things, with thoughts, with people, with external things, you feel lonely because you don't connect to yourself deeply. And so that's basically all that I want to say today. Believe in your power, and start with the thoughts. Start to think that to yourself. Start to tell yourself, I believe in my power, I love myself, I am enough for myself, my presence is enough for myself, I am fulfilled by my own presence. Because what you think about ultimately creates what you then emotionally experience. And you can try that. When you tell yourself negative things, you will feel negative things. When you tell yourself positive things, you feel positive things. and everything that we feel is coming from a thought form that was there before. But this is another video that I want to do. This is not the topic of today. I just want to tell you that it is really helpful when you just start thinking about something, even though you don't really believe it yet, you don't feel it yet, but you tell yourself these things, because eventually you will feel them.